The Witch Queen is slated to release later this year, and with it will come many secrets and possibly the long-awaited arrival of Savathun. But where will this new journey take us? It was previously mentioned that the next couple of expansions will bring new locations for us to explore in Destiny. So today, let's count down 5 of those locations we'd like to visit in the Witch Queen expansion. Number 5, a Hive War-Moon or world. We are free from Fundament's core and Savathun's cutters are ready to fly. With Xivu Arath victorious, we have opened a woon at Kaham, a woon leading to a geostationary orbit. Behold, we are faithful to our covenant, we have no future on Fundament, but her moons will make fine habitats. Let us rise. In the beginning, we rode hollow moons from star to star. The Hive have carved out many moons, probably something they were trying to do to our moon as we found them long ago. After they sort of hollowed these out, they then mobilized these fortresses and called them war moons. This would allow them to travel around the solar system with ease and do as they please while still living their own lives on these moons, doing the normal things like reproducing, eating, work, build carrier ships, and Hive devices of the past. We have yet to see a Hive War-Moon in-game, but that would be a pretty cool location to invade in the Witch Queen expansion, right? Think of it even if it was like a Dreaming City situation. Maybe we go to some planet, maybe some type of Hive homeworld, and then we have to invade this War-Moon to stop it from colliding with Earth or something. Of course, that's just a random idea, but you get the point. It'd be super cool to explore a Hive War-Moon or something akin to the Dreadnought, but a little different like a planet. The only known person in the lore to encounter a War-Moon as of late is Emperor Callus. It is said that his cabal fought off and landed on one a long time ago, but more recently Callus was scavenging a War-Moon when he found the Crown of Sorrow, which was planted there by Savathun. If you know how the story goes, this of course was a trick. She was trying to corrupt him, and we know how that goes with the raid and all of that, but it shows us that these War-Moons are definitely still around. From a Shadowkeep still in one of the viaducts in the background on the whiteboard, we can see some of the locations Bungie were experimenting with and planning for the years to come. Now this could have just been for the viaduct, they could have just wrote whatever down on this whiteboard to get some clips, but it does seem that some of this has come true. We have the locations we are used to since Destiny 2 came out with, Io and all of that, but we also see Europa on here, which in fact is the location now, and there's also something labeled Hive Ship. So whether this was a code name for bringing back the Dreadnought, which we know is not happening at this current moment, or if it's a code name for something like a Hive War-Moon, I guess we'll have to wait and see. And number 4, we have Enceladus. Now this one most likely won't happen in my opinion, but let's talk about this one next. So we all know the words Cade said a while back. This meaning that it's on Enceladus if you take the beginning letter of each word. Now, we originally thought Cade was referencing the Deepstone Crypt, but it turns out the crypt itself is on Europa. So either something else is on Enceladus just waiting in the ice below, or Bungie changed the location in early development for Beyond Light. Now the second one there seems more likely. If you look at the images from Dorje Belbrook's art station, they do showcase Enceladus in some early concept art before Bungie changed it to Europa. You can see his description here. So like I said, it most likely won't be Enceladus given it has some of the same features of Europa like ice across the whole moon. They probably want to stray away and do something a little bit different, but you never know. Are there some other secret Clovis Bray installations dealing with the Long Slow Whisper just waiting for us, or are we gonna head elsewhere? The Manhattan Nuclear Zone. Now we don't have much on this one, but we do know that something nuclear happened in Manhattan, New York. Manhattan Nuclear Zone. All MNZ requests must go through Warlock Mendawasi. That little line there is from Destiny 2, and it shows us that this location is still of interest, and Guardians are still exploring it out there in the universe. Now in Destiny 1, if you waited around the Cryptarch long enough, he would actually even mention the Manhattan Nuclear Zone and say this.
Retrieval mission, Manhattan Nuclear Zone. Nothing bounty, taken infestation, New York crater.
J6 here.
So not sure about you, but I'd like to explore more of Earth and what happened to our great cities. Other known locations on Earth include places like the Mumbai Push, the Saharan Contested Zone, Caracas, and many more. We'll discuss another one later on in this video.
House Winter from the ruins of Caracas. Were they there at the collapse?
But what did happen in Manhattan that turned nuclear? Was it an accident or some sneaky corporation like Clovis Bray? It would be a pretty cool place to explore for sure. Next, we have something darkness related. Now, it's no surprise that the darkness is sticking around, with more and more secrets being revealed with each expansion. Beyond Light was just the start of it, and we can definitely expect to see at least something within the Witch Queen before we get Lightfall next year. Now, there has been some speculation floating around that Soulfire could be the next set of abilities we get, because we've been experiencing a little bit of that with the lore and some weapons, I believe. But visiting a darkness-infected world would be pretty cool, right? We have concept images like this one, which depict the veiled statues and guardians roaming with the same type of architecture we've seen inside the pyramid ships layered around them. So we can clearly see that this is darkness, or veil as people have been calling with the leaks, related. You got the pyramid-like shapes in the background there at the top left, and it looks like one of the statues we've seen within the Garden of Salvation or even the Deepstone Crypt raid. But the question that comes to my head is, what was this concept supposed to be? Maybe it was something comparable to a dreadnought, but on the darkness side of things, like a giant megaship that might arrive someday? But whether it's a darkness ship, which was actually a leak a while back, being added as like a dreaming city type area to a tangled shore, or if we would get some darkness infected planet or something like that, I'm down to explore either for sure.
From the North American Empire just before the collapse. You can tell by the eagles.
And at number 1, we have another Earth location with some promise as of recent lore with the Wild Hunt set, Old Chicago. Here's a concept image for Old Chicago created by Bungie back when they were experimenting with what Destiny 1 could be. Old Chicago, of course, is an American city with many secrets. For starters, the Graviton Lance, which was a weapon that fires many black holes, was found here. But who made it, and why? Did you tell the others? Only that I found some weird gun in some overgrown tunnel back on Old Chicago, and that my ghost was all, "This is why we were led here." Next, from the Wrathborn info on the Wild Hunt sets for this season, we have a couple of quotes. We tracked the thing all the way back to the ruins of Old Chicago, down into the tombs. We weren't hunting it, it was luring us. I've studied the enemies of the light, and I don't know what lured us to that ruin in Old Chicago and killed all those guardians, but I know it was hunting us. This thing we were hunting, it was smart, scary smart. It trapped us in the tombs below Old Chicago, picked off other fire teams one by one. So we know that this location is now a swampy mega city. I'm sure some of these skyscrapers have collapsed and things like that, and there's also what appears to be a tomb below the surface. But imagine exploring those skyscrapers covered in moss, gunk, and bodies of water just sprawling around the area. With that image earlier from the whiteboard in the Shadowkeep Vidoc, it is believed that people see OCH abbreviated here towards the bottom right. Now, the locations in this column are more difficult to read, and that could be on purpose. If these are future play spaces, let's scribble them on the whiteboard so it's hard to see for the camera. Unless somebody just has bad handwriting, I apologize, but if this is Old Chicago, it could be a location, as Europa is also on this list. So is Bungie hinting at Old Chicago as a new location coming soon, or simply building the lore of the universe through these lore cards? Regardless, let me know if you would like to explore an area like this in the future. Anyway, Guardians, I thank you so much for watching this video. If you'd like to see some others just like it, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Anyway, my name's Evade, and I'll catch you Guardians in the next one.